Hi, this is Andre. Nonlinear drone domination is my admittedly very clickbaity term for ways of taking an arrhythmic drone loop and then manipulating it so that you can have a lot of control over how it plays back, what parts of it play back for how long, and even being able to overdub certain elements in very specific parts of the loop no matter where you're starting from. Sounds very ambitious, I know, but bear with me, please. Even though we're not dealing with song structure in the sense of different sections that go back and forth in multiple loops, we're still dealing with a bit of a song. This is a piece called In Before the Lock. We're going to start with a live performance of that, and then I will talk about myself afterwards. So we're starting off with a completely empty loop. It doesn't really matter how long the loop length is because it's going to be expanded eventually. And then we're starting to add in content using sus insert and sus replace. And because the loop delay parameter is set to stutter, that means that the sus insert function is going to give us a single cycle multiply. So basically that's a very complicated way of getting stuff that sounds like a skipping CD player, but I like it. Now we're jumping up one bank and we're going to hit the multiply button in bank 2. I didn't really need to go to bank 2 to do that because there's a multiply button on the quick change bank that I just left, but for whatever reason that's what I decided to do in this performance. And now while the multiply is still underway, we're changing banks again. We're going to bank 3, which I guess you could call a scratching bank. Just as a quick aside, I always feel like a wild man when I change banks while multiply is happening. It makes me feel like I'm living very dangerously. Now we're hitting overdub to end the multiply process. So now we're overdubbing sounds at the same time that we're pressing the sus reverse button. Sus reverse will play the loop in reverse for as long as you hold the pedal down, and as soon as you release the pedal, it starts playing the loop forwards again. So it goes in reverse only for as long as you hold down the pedal, and when you leave overdub open and overdub stuff while you press that pedal, then it kind of smears different parts of the overdub along different parts of the loop. And now what's happening is that we're pressing the retrigger button at the same time that we're overdubbing a note. The retrigger button will replay the loop from its start point. And if you press the retrigger button at the same time that you play something, if overdub is open, then whatever you're playing is going to be overdubbed right at the very beginning of the loop, because retrigger is replaying the loop right from that point. So this is a way that you can actually take an arrhythmic loop and not necessarily have any idea where you are in the loop, but if you want to have something very specific happening at a very specific point, you can use the start point and then retrigger while you're doing your overdub. And what's going on here is that I'm retriggering as I overdub different layers of a single note. So it's kind of like a big gong hit or something. I'm just playing the single note a few times and using retrigger to make sure that it gets overdubbed in exactly the same spot in the loop. Now we're about to hit the half speed button so that the EDP will go into half speed, and it's a toggle function. So unlike a sus function, the toggle function will enter a state and then it will wait until you hit that button again to exit that state. So a toggle half speed means that you hit the button, it goes into half speed, and then it stays in half speed until you hit that button a second time. And we don't hit the button a second time in this performance, it stays in half speed. We do one more note in the retrigger overdub technique. And then we close overdub because now it's time to noodle gratuitously over the top. So from this point on to the end of the performance, all of the changes that happen with the EDP are not happening by changing the content within the loop, it's changing the playback of the loop. So all the manipulations that go on for the rest of the performance are not adding in new material or getting rid of previous material in the audio. It's basically adjusting the playback, either retriggering it from the very beginning, which is where we overdub those gong hit notes, or using the sus reverse command to kind of manually scan or freeze small sections of a loop. So just as a point of interest, everything that happens from here on out is not changing the content of the loop at all, it's just manipulating the playback of the loop in different ways using retrigger and sus reverse. Nonlinear drone domination. Taking a drone and using various functions to add new content into it and play back that content in such a way that you have a lot more determinacy and a lot more control over when certain parts of that loop end up coming back. Thank you as always for tuning in. I hope you're all staying safe out there. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.